Hi, how are you? Hope you're doing well. We're doing okay here. Hope that you and your family are fine. And I just have a few thoughts for you here today. Uh, suppose, set this up for you. Suppose I say to you, do not let this happen. Now, I'm implying a couple of things by telling you that. Number one, I'm implying that there is something, whatever this is, there's something that could happen. And number two, I'm telling you that you have the ability, the power to stop it from happening. Now, why do I bring this up? Well, look at this. I'm going to bring up some fancy graphics for you. John chapter 14. And look at what Jesus says there. Do not let your heart be troubled. Right there in verse 1, do not let your heart be troubled. Now, Jesus is implying, number one, that your heart might be troubled, and number two, you have the ability not to allow it to be troubled. Now, why in that context was Jesus saying that? Well, in chapter 13, the disciples were concerned. They were troubled because he just told them that he was going away. He said, I'm going away. You can't follow me now. Peter said, why can't I follow you? Where are you going? Why can't I follow you? I will lay down my life for you. And Jesus said, well, really? Well, you're going to deny me 3 times before the rooster crows. And so they were concerned. Disciples of Jesus are students of Jesus, and they want to be with Jesus. They had been with Jesus for 3 years, following him around. And all of them were passionate about following him, except for maybe Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him. So they were concerned. They were alarmed by this statement of Jesus that he was going away, and they couldn't follow him. So their hearts might be troubled. So what are they supposed to do about it? He commands them, don't let your heart be troubled. If your heart's troubled, you're allowing it to happen. Okay, so what does he say? What does he prescribe? Well, firstly here in John 14, he says, do not let your heart be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many dwelling places. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. If I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, so that where I am, there you may be also. So the first thing that Jesus recommends to them, prescribes for them, is faith. You believe in God, believe also in me. I'm going away, yes, but what I'm going to do as I go away, part of what I'm going to be doing is preparing a place for you. How about that? And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to receive you to myself, and then you can be with me forever where I am. That's why I'm going away. Now later on, he also tells them it's to your advantage that I go away, because if I don't go away, I won't send the Holy Spirit. But if I go away, I'll send the Holy Spirit. He will be with you and will be in you. So there's advantages to you if I go away. So don't let your heart be troubled. And then again, later on in chapter 14, Jesus again repeats himself. Look at this from verse 27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Do not let your heart be troubled. There it is. Do not let your heart be troubled, nor let it be fearful. He adds fear in there. So he says, look, twice he says in chapter 14, do not let your heart be troubled. Don't let your heart be afraid. Number one, I prescribe faith. Believe in God, believe in me. Trust in my promises. Trust in the fact that I know what I'm doing. I'm going away. I'm going to come back, and you're going to be with me forever. And then secondly, he says, I'm going to give you peace. I'm going to give you my peace. Now, probably he used the Hebrew word shalom, which means more than just peace in your heart and freedom from conflict. It means overall well-being. I'm going to give you my overall well-being. So what if we're tempted to have troubled hearts in these days? A lot of things that we could be troubled over all the time, really. I think Jesus is telling us that we have more control over the state of our hearts than we may realize. Sometimes I think we think it's out of our control completely. But Jesus says, don't let your heart be troubled. If your heart's troubled, you've let it happen. So don't do that. And I think we need to shift our thinking. We need to shift our thinking away from the things that cause us to be troubled, obsessing about those things, worrying about those things, focusing on those things, and instead focusing on the Lord and his promises, and asking him by his Spirit and through his word to give us his peace, his shalom, the well-being that only comes from him. So if you've got a troubled heart today, recognize the fact that it's because you've allowed it to happen, and say, Lord, deliver me from this. Help me focus on you, your promises, your faithfulness, your provision. and continue walking with you, seeking first your kingdom and righteousness, letting you take care of all the rest. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Appreciate it.